This alert, the latest from the deadly shooting in South Toledo earlier today. It happened at the Byrneport Apartments in South Toledo right around 5 o'clock. Police now tell us 27-year-old Kevin Moore shot his girlfriend's 3 children. A 5-year-old and 1-year-old were killed. The other, a 4-year-old, is in critical condition tonight. Moore is in the Lucas County Jail on 2 counts of murder and 1 charge of assault. We have team coverage of this tragedy. Roxanne Elias met with a community leader about what she wants done about the violence at that apartment complex. But we start tonight with Michael Tater, who talked to shaken neighbors grieving these small children. Michael.
That's right, Melissa. I don't think anyone can really put into words what happened here today. Even at this hour, we see neighbors peeking through windows, looking out of their doors towards the crime scene, trying to make sense of exactly what happened. And many I spoke to, frankly, telling me they're horrified by the incidents here today. Now, one neighbor that I spoke to who lives just a few doors down from the crime scene says she heard several gunshots. She looked out the window and saw a man outside shooting into the air right before police arrived. And then when they did, he actually pointed his guns at those officers. Another neighbor that I spoke to said she's lived here for over 10 years and she's never seen the police get to a scene and to this complex as soon as they did today. But she says neighborhoods like these need more help.
Try to kind of get attention to places like, families who live here at low income. I feel like often we're given the brunt of, not as enough resources to, give people what they need so they don't have to, resort to violence.
And now many neighbors that I spoke to understandably did not want to go on camera, but many of them telling me they're parents and they're very scared by all of this. Melissa?
Michael Tater reporting live in South Toledo. Thanks so much. And Michael, one more thing. You did talk with some of the family members tonight. What are they telling you about this?
That's right, Melissa. I actually happened to run into the sister-in-law and the mother's brother here at the complex. Understandably, they did not want to go on camera as one of her children is still fighting for his life. But they did tell me that they have just as many questions as we do about exactly what happened here tonight.
Michael, thank you so much. Well, the complex is no stranger to violence. 31-year-old Alex Day died in November of last year when he was shot there in the back of the head. 32-year-old Davio Galladay died after being shot 6 times in September. Back in October of 2015, Richard Villavovos was stabbed after an argument turned violent. And then in November of 2011, a 34-year-old and a 4-year-old child were both shot in their home. And then back to October of 2010, a man was stabbed in a fight involving nunchucks and a sword. There have been around 11 incidents. And Roxanne Elias talked with a city official who's calling this shocking and concerning. And it's not the first time this council person has visited a crime scene. Roxanne?
Melissa, just a few hours ago, we witnessed a councilwoman, Sir Sandra McPherson, walking around even in these frigid temperatures, and she was just wanting to see exactly with her eyes what had happened. She called it a very sad day in Toledo, and she said she had to come here and see kind of what the situation was. Now, McPherson says she learned about the shooting when multiple people began calling her shortly after it had happened. She says she immediately knew she needed to come to the location herself because hearing about it is just one thing and then seeing it is another. She also talked about how her background in education makes her want to be more hands-on, and as a councilwoman, she intends to be hands-on and actually try to find a solution to these types of situations.
And anytime there's a loss of life due to gun violence, again, help me understand. We've got to do something to change the tide.
McPherson says she doesn't necessarily have the answers right now, but she does intend with her position in City Council to find some type of solution at some point. For now, reporting live in South Toledo, Roxanne Elias.
News Alert.
And we are still tracking breaking news as we come on the air tonight. 3 young boys between the ages of 1 and 5 years old shot tonight at Toledo apartment complex. 2 of them died, the other in critical condition. The suspect arrested, now charged with murder. Welcome to Action News at 11. I'm Diane Larson.
And I'm Lee Conklin. We have team coverage tonight. 2020 was one of the most violent and deadly years in the city's history, and we're seeing a similar trend at the start of this year. Our Jack Bassett has that angle covered in just a moment. But first, we want to go live to 13 ABC's Josh Krupp has the latest on this tragic story tonight. Fatal shooting at the Byrneport Apartments. Josh?
Lee and Diane, good evening. We got here a little bit before 6 o'clock tonight, and just before we came on the air, the final Toledo police officers left the scene. Within the last hour, we have learned some more information about the children involved and the suspect.
And 3 children have been shot.
Another night of violence in Northwest Ohio. This time, kids caught in the middle, all of them 5 years of age or younger. Toledo police confirming Friday night 2 of the children died after they were shot inside the Byrneport Apartments. The children, ages 1 and 5, died at the hospital. The other, only 4 years old, is in critical condition. Police say all 3 were shot at least once. It all happened after 5 p.m. Friday night at the apartments located just minutes away from UTMC.
And we're still obviously following up here at the scene and at the hospital, and then we'll be doing some interviews and everything like that.
Police say the suspect is 27-year-old Kevin Moore. They say he's the boyfriend of the children's mother. In the hours after the shooting, TPD commenting, "Please pray for the victims, their families, and the first responders who were there tonight. This was truly a sad day for our community." Kevin Moore tonight is in the Lucas County Jail. He is charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 felony count of assaults. Live in Toledo, Josh Krupp, 13 ABC Action News.
And Byrneport Apartments, that is, no stranger to violence. Just this past November, a man was shot and killed at the complex, one of the record number of homicides in 2020.
A reaction is pouring in now following tonight's tragedy. Our Jack Bassett talking with a resident of the South Toledo apartment complex, calling for an end to the violence. Jack Bassett reports.
It hurts, you know, to really think about it safe. Me just thinking about my own son.
This Toledo father wants to remain anonymous, but says he was just feet away from tonight's shooting.
A lot of gunshots. It was more than, I say, 5, 6 rounds of them. Clearly I had to have my son in his room. It's real bad out here in these neighborhoods.
Toledo is coming off its deadliest year in history when it comes to homicides, 61 last year. Just over 1 month into the new year, the city's homicide count now sits at 6 lives lost, including the January 18th standoff that ended with Toledo police officer Brandon Stalker shot and killed in the line of duty.
It makes me want to think that I shouldn't stay on the side of town. I mean, people just to stop the violence and things like that, especially with kids.
And just this week, several horrific shootings in the region. On Monday, someone opened fire on a car carrying young women and children in Monroe County, Michigan. The 18-year-old mother of a 5-month-old was shot in the head. Her family says she's in critical condition. And Wednesday, authorities say a 35-year-old woman was shot and killed in a domestic dispute at Monroe County RV Park.
It's going to be hard for something that we're looking for peace through the years that we have, but hopefully everything will come all right, especially in Toledo.
Lieutenant Dan Gerken with the Toledo Police, obviously. All right, we got sent out here on a shooting. It appears to be a domestic situation, and 3 children have been shot. No names or ages from me today. We believe we have the person responsible for that in custody at the time, and we're still obviously following up here at the scene and at the hospital, and then we'll be doing some interviews and everything like that. But the main thing to come here is to tell you about the 3 kids. A couple of them are deceased at this point. and we believe we have the guy responsible in custody already. Okay.
Did you give us an age range at all?
I'm not going to give you anything because I don't want to be wrong.
What about the third child?
In critical. Yeah, he's critical at this point.
What time did it all happen?
I'm not sure exactly the time. I'm going to tell you before 6 o'clock, but don't quote me on that because I really don't know what time it was.
Where did it take place? Inside or outside of the apartment?
Inside the apartment. Okay.
That's the middle unit over there in that building?
Yeah, it's the one that you're seeing the police at. Okay?
Is it?
Who made the call?
I'm not going to release any of that stuff yet, and you're probably not going to get that right away. Okay, we got it. That's part of our investigation. So, but that's where we're at. That's what we got, and you'll get some more as it goes on. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.